Well, thank you, Kevin. They are filing in the Target Field for Game 1 of this wild card series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins.
The time for improving is over. The time for proving has arrived. Because the future hangs by a thread.
It's gone!
The Blue Jays and the Twins are ready. 162 games have prepared them for this moment.
The Twins are the champions of the Central.
A moment with no before, only an after. Filled with promise or regret. That moment is here. Now is all they got.
Miss your shot.
Oh, yeah, you could feel it. Big crowd filing in the Target Field for the wild card in the American League. The wild card Blue Jays against the Central Division champion, Minnesota Twins. Game 1 of a best-of-3 here from Minneapolis. Hi, everybody, and welcome to baseball on ESPN. That guy had 696 home runs. That's Alex Rodriguez. I didn't have any. I'm Michael Kay. Hope you're going to sit back and enjoy this one. The Twins have a lot to play for, so do the Blue Jays, but the Twins have a little something hanging over their head. They've lost 18 straight games in the postseason. That's the longest streak in North American sports history. Number 2, the Blackhawks, tied for number 3, the Pistons and the King. But the bottom line is they've been hot in September, so they feel good about this. They also feel good about it, Alex, because they have a big postseason performer, Carlos Correa, on their team.
He's the right guy at the right spot, Michael, and when healthy, Carlos Correa is top 5 in the game. He had a very pedestrian season this year, battled through injuries, but he is poised to lead the way, breaking this 18-game streak, Michael, and leading this team back to another extension since 2002.
Now, obviously the Blue Jays also have a number 4, so I guess 4 is a wild here, and that number 4 is George Springer, a guy with great postseason experience, came over from the Astros as a free agent.
Another former Astros, world champion, World Series MVP, had a nice 2020 season. And speaking to Don Mattingly earlier, he said he's played really well as of late, and is poised to lead this team for another monster October.
Now, this is a great pitching matchup. Both teams are able to set up their best to go in this one. And obviously, for the Minnesota Twins, it's Pablo Lopez. You see the numbers, a lot of strikeouts, tied for the third most in the major leagues. And on the other side, for the Toronto Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman, he's been their ace. He has got filthy stuff. He also strikes out a lot of people as well. And both teams strike out offensively, so we'll see which ones make contact. It's the Blue Jays, it's the Twins. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, coming up next on ESPN. Now there's Target Field, one of the more beautiful venues in all of Major League Baseball in the great city of Minneapolis, and it's Game 1 of the American League wild card. Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. Crowd on its feet, they are ready to break this losing streak. Now let's go down to the field for the third member of our broadcast crew, that is Alden Gonzalez. Alden.
Hey, Michael, and look, that playoff losing streak gets talked about a lot around these parts. None of the Twins players have been around for most of that, but this team has seemed to sort of embrace that streak in its own way. We saw it with Cal Farmer, who during an on-field interview after they clinched the division promised that they would end the rut this year. And Michael, nobody embodies a sentiment like that better than their Game 1 starter, Pablo Lopez, who arrived to the ballpark today wearing the jersey of Johan Santana, his boyhood idol. Lopez said yesterday that even though the players haven't been around for that streak, quote, the fans have. And we're going to use that as motivation and fuel to give them something to celebrate in October. Just like anything else in life, Lopez said, nothing lasts forever. And guys, Lopez would want nothing more than to personally end that rut himself today.
Now, thank you, Alden. So let's talk about that a little bit, Alex. they're going to say it doesn't mean anything. We talked to Rocco Baldelli. A lot of guys don't even know about the streak in the room. But when you're asked about it constantly, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that something that weighs on them, you think?
Absolutely, and Rocco's saying all the right things, as he should. But postseason, the light is magnified. More people are talking. Family, friends, fans, Twitter. Especially today, there's more information than ever is in their minds, Michael, regardless of what they say.
All right, so they are going to face a Blue Jay team that is rocking and rolling in this wild card game as well. We'll take a look at their starting lineup. George Springer, the man with so much playoff experience, he's in right field. Then Brandon Belt, the DH, who also has a lot of playoff experience. He'll bat second. Hitting third, first baseman Vlad Guerrero Jr. Bo Bichette, the shortstop, cleans up. Kevin Biggio at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching Alejandro Kirk. Kevin Kiermaier in center field is going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Matt Chapman. In the 7 and 8 spots, those two guys, obviously, great defenders, both platinum glove defenders, and then there's Dalton Varsho in left field, another great defender, and he is batting ninth. So Alden alluded to this earlier, and Lopez, who is so calm, cool, and collected, and really has a grip on everything, he walks into the ballpark wearing the uniform jersey of Johan Santana, who was the last pitcher at the Minnesota Twins actually won a game, and that was against your New York Yankees, and then you started the losing streak the next day in Game 2 of that postseason series.
Well, I still remember Game 1 where Johan absolutely dominated us in the Bronx, and it was fastballs and changeups, and tonight you'll see a lot of fastballs and changeups from Lopez, but he's also added a nice sweeper, Michael, which has been his dominant pitch this year.
Yeah, he's had an outstanding season. It's a great pitching matchup here in Game 1. So everybody involved is pumped up and ready for this. I know the crowd is as well. And we are getting closer to baseball here in Minneapolis. So Springer digs in. He's ready. Lopez is ready. The crowd is ready. Let's do it in Minneapolis. And the first pitch, fly ball, right field, down the line. Giving chase is Kepler. And the first baseman, Kirilloff, cannot make the play over the shoulder, so it's just a long strike. Home plate umpires Andy Fletcher. Adam Hammery is at first. Mike Malinsky at second. Dan Iassogna, the crew chief, at third. Mark Wegner in left field. And Jeremy Rehak is the right field ump. So 6 umpires in postseason games. One and one. Blue Jays finish the season 89-73. The Twins win the Central at 87-75. So 3 teams out of the East go to the postseason. The Blue Jays, the Jays, or the Rays, and obviously the winners, the O's, who are sitting back and waiting to see who comes out of the wild card. And the Astros won the West. Great early catch by a fan. The 1-2. Foul ball to stay alive. There was that breaking ball you talked about. That was added right before the season began.
And it's very difficult to do, Michael. It tells you about how smart Lopez is to have a transition in the middle of your career to go from 40% changeup and split it between changeup and curveball, 20% each, and he's been outstanding.
And the 1-2. Now the Twins got Lopez from the Marlins, and talk about a deal that helped both teams. They traded Luis Arraez to Miami. Arraez just won the National League batting title, and here Pablo Lopez is starting Game 1 of the postseason. It did help both teams. 1-2. Ground ball at third. Polanco, and a bad throw, and a scoop, and he's safe. He jumped over Kirilloff at first, and he will make it at first, and that's going to be a throwing error.
Michael, that's not defense, that's called nerves, and it matters. Routine ground ball right here. Rushed himself a little bit. And if he catches it, he's out. Dangerous play there for Springer on both ankles.
Now Springer's a threat to go. Stole more bases this year than he ever has in his career, 20 out of 25. Here's Brandon Belt. So runner at first base. And there's a strike. Ryan Jeffers behind the plate. He has improved his arm strength from last year, but still you can run on him.
Michael, if these two aces is not hard enough, yesterday I sat right at home plate, right at this time, and something for the fans at home to watch. The background in the lights and the sun is going to be an issue and a challenge for hitters.
Now the lights are on. Odd start time here in the Central, about 3:30. And when the teams were introduced before the game, it was very cloudy, but the clouds are losing a battle right now with the sun. That's why there are shadows. One and two.
Michael, no surprise, the Tampa-Texas game had some sloppy defense early. You see it here today in the first play. Don't just tell me it's another game, because it's not. It's October. The fans feel it, and the players feel it.
1-2. Popped up behind the plate. Jeffers makes the play. One out. You know, Polanco was given an error, obviously, on the throw. He had 11 starts at third base in the second half of the season, and he had not played third base since 2016. So 11 starts at third base second half of the season.
And that's the ramifications of Lewis having to DH because of the hamstring. Moves Polanco over to third from second.
Guerrero takes a strike. Alex used the word, and it fits perfectly, a pedestrian offensive season for him. Still had 26 homers, 94 ribbies, but not the same player he was 2-3 years ago. But he thinks it's there. And he knows that now you get to reset all the numbers.
And Michael, I spoke to him a little bit before the game, had a chance to speak a little bit to him in Spanish. Great kid, born in Canada. He just said, look, I think I pressed a little bit too much. I try to carry this team, but guess what? Today's a new season, and I'm ready to go.
1-1. 97 miles an hour, the fastball on the outside corner, 1-2. Well, this crowd came ready. Ground ball, second. Let's see if they turn two. No, they go for one. They do not go for the lead runner. So they get Guerrero as Springer advances to second.
Michael, you've seen one mistake and one subtle one. Obviously the error for Polanco, but here, especially with 2 outs, I'd love to see him take his time and just get 1 out. But that 1 out has to be at second, not at first. Now you have one of their hottest hitters with a man in scoring position.
So here is Bo Bichette. If you look at the hit chart on Bichette, there's no one place to pitch him. He can hit pitches outside the zone, up, down, inside, outside. He expands the zone because he has great bat-to-ball skills.
And some of that, Michael, comes from being a former tennis player. His father, Dante, said, hey, maybe you should try tennis where you can control your own outcome. And he said, no, you know what? I'm going to try baseball, just like another Bo. Great hands, great hand-eye coordination, and can hit elite pitching.
Dropped that breaking ball in there for a strike, had him off balance. 1-2. And the pitch. Popped up shallow right. Kepler is there to make the play, and that'll do it. They overcome the error. 1 man left. So it's the Blue Jays nothing and the Minnesota Twins coming to bat. Welcome back to Target Field. Blue Jays don't score in the top of the first. Now it's the Twins' turn against Kevin Gausman. Now there are 4 switch hitters in that lineup. It's very balanced as well. So you've got people that can match up with anybody the Blue Jays bring out of the bullpen. And that's a pretty stout lineup with a lot of power in it as well. 233 home runs for the Twins this season. So Edwin Julien will start it off, and they're going to face a very, very tough right-hander. And that is Kevin Gausman. Gausman 12-9 with a 3.16, and he strikes out a lot of people, Alex.
And he does it with a fastball and a split, north and south. As of late, Minnesota's had some really good outings against him. Something to watch here, Michael. Either one, they have a great approach. If they see it high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. Or there might be some tipping. Something to watch here today.
Gausman deals, and the pitch to Julien is a strike. Julien is playing against his country's team. He is from Quebec City in Canada, and the Blue Jays were his childhood team. Made his major league debut on April 12th, and he's had a really good rookie season. 381 on base percentage. And that was 7th in the American League.
Michael, if I'm one of the coaching staff right there in the dugout, what I'm looking for is how the Minnesota Twins hitters are taking that split finger. It's humanly impossible for everyone to take it perfectly. So if you have 3 or 4 guys just spitting on that split, they may have something. And I'm sure those coaches are locking in on that.
One thing about Julien, he does not chase outside the strike zone. 14.3%. That's the lowest in the majors. That's why he's on base so many times. He'll take that pitch, he'll take his walk.
That's a really good stat for the regular season. It is paramount in October.
And there we go. Took that one just off the outside corner. So Julien leads off with a walk here in the first.
Michael, we talked about the challenging background. I'd like to see Minnesota play a little Tom Kelly ball here. Maybe a little small ball bunt, maybe hit and run. The Twins have gone back to their old ways of pitching, defense, and great base running. Perfect example here with little balls, the right play.
Here is Polanco. Swings through the fastball. Gausman has swing and miss stuff, 237 strikeouts. That led the American League. He was in the top 6 in ERA, opponent's batting average against, and homers allowed per 9 innings. He had a really good season. Popped up on the left side. Bichette drifts back. Waves off the left fielder Varsho and makes the play for the first out. Well, Bichette plays a very aggressive shortstop, and you can see that it's kind of a tough sky for a fielder. And usually a left fielder, especially one as good as Varsho, can call off the shortstop. Not the case there.
Yeah, and Bichette's surrounded with Gold Glovers all around him.
Here's Royce Lewis, who got a great hand as he came to the plate. He's been dealing with a hamstring issue, and after the workout yesterday, when he left the ballpark, they didn't think he was going to be on the active roster. He had a great night of sleep, I guess, Alex, because he feels good today, and here he is batting third, and he's DHing. It will impact the way he runs, but he can swing the bat. He has a hamstring issue.
With that in mind, Michael, with his hamstring here, any ground ball is an automatic double play. So if you're him, you're looking to stay inside the baseball and drive it, but get that ball airborne.
And also, if you see that ground ball and you see he's just jogging first, he's not dogging it. He's been told by the Twins, the manager, listen, you've got to run with management here. You cannot bust it down the line and just blow out the hamstring for the whole month. Two and one. Gausman against Lopez, first time since 2011 that a league's top two pitchers and strikeouts faced each other in the playoffs. The last time was 2011, Verlander against Sabathia in the ALDS.
Dandy.
2-1. There's that splitter. 2-2.
It looks like a fastball until it's not.
Also had a little screwball action to it.
Yep.
Moved in, not just straight down. In the dirt, good block by Kirk. Lewis did something, Alex, and I mean, you're the all-time leader in Grand Slams. It's just hard to conceive of. From August 27th to September 15th, he had 4 Grand Slams, breaking the record for the shortest amount of time hitting 4 Grand Slams. His bench coach, Don Mattingly, held that 1987, 39 games. 4 Grand Slams.
He may go 10 years and not hit another Grand Slam. Michael, with Lewis's leg here, Julian should be running here to stay out of the double play in the 3-2 count.
Does not go. And that one is drilled deep to left field. Going back, Varsho, turning, looking, see ya! A 2-run home run for Lewis. And just like that, the Twins are up 2-0.
And the magical run continues for Royce Lewis. 3-2 fastball. Fastball, mid-90s, beats him to the spot. Alligator arms, nice and tight.
Let's go down to Alden. Having some problems with Alden's mic.
Hey, Royce, you talked about it. They talked yesterday about if you hit home runs, you don't have to worry about the hamstring. You could just jump. How did that one feel?
Accomplishment right there. That's what we were trying to focus on, and luckily I got a fastball middle in for me to drive.
You worked a great count. You worked a great at bat against Kevin Gausman. How did you approach facing him?
Just look for something, that I could drive. Also wanted to, relax and breathe. Still out of breath, obviously. It was good, man. The environment's electric here. They're helping us out.
Royce, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alden. So Royce missed the last 2 weeks of the season with a left hamstring strain. But despite that, he won Rookie of the Month in September, hitting .313, 6 homers, and 23 ribbies in 18 games.
Michael, we spent some time with him before the game, and there's an ease about this young man. There's a comfort level. It feels like he's been here for 10 or 15 years, but he has an old school mentality. He's humble, and boy, he came ready to play.
Looks like Gausman's having some trouble with the pitch comm. Now, PitchCom has come into being this year, and a lot of people I spoke to said they're concerned that when you get to the playoffs and the crowd is this loud, you will not be able to hear the PitchCom.
And that's accurate, Michael. That's why you have to have a secondary approach. You got to go back to the fingers, a little bit of old school. But the more that catchers and pitchers and pitching coach can talk, the better. So You have to come ready to go with arrows in your quiver to be able to attack and adjust.
Right now, this place is really loud. So here is Kirilloff, and Gausman deals. And there's a strike. Take a look at the last 2 pitches to Lewis.
Lays off the split, and this sets up the 3-2 fastball. If I'm Gausman, throw my worst split of the day, I would back it up 3-2 and throw another one. Instead, he threw the fastball. Home run, 2-0 Twins.
15 home runs during the year, and now he hits one here in the first inning of a playoff game. Foul ball, 1-2. See his numbers? They had 12 players with 10 or more home runs. So they spread the wealth when it comes to power. Two and two. Two runs in, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Blue Jays and the Twins. Gausman deals. 3-2. The home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher, is considered moderate. He doesn't favor the pitcher, doesn't favor the hitter. Considered a very fair umpire. Payoff. Another foul ball. So 21 pitches in the bank already for Gausman. And the pitch. Another foul ball. So Kirilloff uses his timeout. All of the rules that sped up the game during the regular season, they're in use here in the postseason. The only one that is not in use is the runner at second base in extra innings. It's old-time baseball. The games could go on as long as they go on and you score, but there's no runner at second base. And there's a walk to Kirilloff. Second walk issued by Gausman. And Pete Walker will go out and try to settle down Kevin Gausman. And this crowd now is just building a wall of noise here at Target Field. Gausman does struggle in the early innings. And he's struggling right now. So innings 1 through 3, 4.06. When he gets through those 3 innings, it goes down to 2.25.
Michael, I'm not concerned about his struggles, but what I am concerned is when you read body language of the Minnesota Twins hitters, to me it seems they're seeing the ball a little bit too well, and it does not make sense.
So here's Correa. He has not played since September 18th, missed his last 11 games. Been dealing all season with plantar fasciitis, and those are not Correa numbers, but he's good enough to play in the postseason. Batting 6th, runner on first base, 2 men out, 2 men in. Oh and 1. Correa loves the spotlight. 18 home runs, 59 ribbies in 79 playoff games. So it's about half a season. Snap throw to first, and diving back is Kirilloff. And the 0-2. Just missed off the outside corner, 1-2.
One-two, not a bad time to try to steal a base. Get another cheap run, maybe make it 3-0. Probably split coming here.
And the pitch. Right down the middle with a fastball, and Correa down looking. But the Twins make noise early. Their youngster, Royce Lewis, takes an inside fastball and drives it into the seats and left. It's about him in inning number 1, a 2-run shot, 2-0 Twins.
I was never gone, but I'm back with my hoodie on. Tell the DJ.
Kevin Connors in studio over on ABC. The Rangers already up 2-0 in the 6th. First and second, no one out. Corey Seager to center. Jose Siri can't come up with it, and then he air mails the throw to third. The 4th error of the day by the Rays, most ever by Tampa Bay in a postseason game. Jordan Montgomery, 6 1/3 shutout innings for Texas. 4-0 Rangers. Michael.
Thank you, Kevin. Wow, 4 errors. As Biggio leads off and takes inside from Pablo Lopez. Lopez has a 2-0 lead thanks to the 2-run home run by Royce Lewis. That one is a fly ball down the right field line, and that'll be foul. Now, Alex, you spoke about it earlier. 4 errors for the Blue Jays, very fundamentally, or for the Tampa Bay Rays, very fundamentally sound team. The spotlight gets bright, and sometimes it unnerves.
And it's different in October. And look, you're going to hear all the same sound bites. It's just another game. It's not. But when you come out to the line, they announce you, and it's October, and the whole world is watching national TV. It's a different nerves, and those who control those emotions, like Royce Lewis did in the first, are usually going to be the winners.
There's a strike to Biggio. Biggio kind of bulled his way back into an important role on the Blue Jays when Chapman was hurt. Now he's playing second base. They're not playing Espinal, and they're not playing Merrifield. So Biggio back in there. 3-2.
It's a big shutdown inning for Lopez here. Get the Twins back in the dugout to keep adding on.
Foul back. Well, the Blue Jays offense kind of middle of the road, tied for 14th in runs per game, 4.60, 8th in batting average, 8th in on-base percentage, but 13th in slugging and 16th in home runs. Their pitching really carried them. That one's hit sharply to first. Kirilloff will take it himself. 1 down. Hey, coming up next, the final game of the night. Bryce Harper and the Phillies host Jazz Chisholm Jr. and the Marlins. Marlins and the Phillies, game 1. It'll be Jesus Luzardo for the Marlins and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. That'll be a good one. Here's Alejandro Kirk. Fouled the other way. 0-1. Well, the Blue Jays thought that their season was ended when they got swept by the Texas Rangers. But they bowed their neck and they said, let's do this. And they went out and swept the Red Sox, took 2 out of 3 from the Rays, took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. And here they are. They get in as a wild card, and they were fortunate that they were able to seal their fate on Saturday. They did not have to use Kevin Gausman in Sunday's game, so he can start this one.
That's why it's so important to have veteran leadership that's been there and done that. And it was George Springer who called the team meeting, players only, and said, hey, I know we got our butts kicked, but we're going to bounce back. And sure enough, they went on to go 9-5, and they're back in the postseason.
Kirk hit .250, 8 homers, 43 ribbies during the regular season. Fly ball, left center, and that is going to be caught by a diving Taylor. An outstanding center fielder, and he flashes the leather there for out number 2.
Michael, flashes of Kirby Puckett, Torii Hunter, and now Michael Taylor. Another Gold Glove winner with a superb jump, catch, and landing.
So from one great center fielder to another, Kevin Kiermaier digs in. One and 0. So since 2021, Taylor has 31 outs above average. That's the second among Major League outfielders. Dalton Varsho with 32. 3-0 on Kiermaier.
Both teams resemble 1980s, 1990s rosters with great pitching, superb bullpen, and fantastic defense.
3-1 on Kiermaier. 8 home runs, 36 ribbies on the year. And the pitch. 3-2. Lopez faced Toronto May 27th. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. You got to win. And there's a walk to Kiermaier. I had the pleasure of covering the 87 and 91 Twins when I was a newspaper writer. And that team had one of the great home field advantages of all time at the Metrodome, the loudest place that you can imagine. They're trying to recreate that sound here at Target Field. Breaking ball strike to Chapman.
Mike, I watched as a kid every pitch of every game of both those World Series, and of course the great Jack Morris Smoltz battle was just epic with Dan Gladden scoring the winning run.
Fly ball, right field. Kepler toward the line in the corner, leaps, can't get there. Well, the manager of those two Twins championship teams, Tom Kelly, threw out the first pitch before the game, and he threw it to Ken Herbeck, one of the heroes of both of those teams. A local kid made good, and that was a great moment right before the game.
Tom Kelly, one of the great ones. I really love the man. Did so much for this organization, so much for this community here in Minnesota, and a true legend.
Fly ball, shallow center coming on Taylor, and he makes the play for the final out. But the highlight of this inning, off the bat of Alejandro Kirk, Taylor coming in, making the dive, and the catch. Glove is a many-splendored thing.
So, Michael, focusing on Kevin Gausman, who's got an outstanding split finger. He's thrown 9 so far. He's only had 1 swing and miss. But I want you to focus on the takes and the body language. I know they're not very competitive, but look at the body language. Never even an effort to swing. So I don't want to be a conspiracy theory, but to me, that split is too good not even to budge. Not even a flinch.
So you think he's tipping?
That is my conclusion just from the naked eye. I don't have any real evidence besides reading body language of those hitters.
0-1 on Jeffers, and he rips that one to left field. Coming on Varsho, and he makes the play for the first out in the bottom of the second. So Jeffers hit it well, but Varsho is a plus defender in left field. So what did they say about the splitter? If it's low, let it go. If it's high, let it fly. But that's still hard to do.
That's like when they say, have you ever taken a punch, you think you're ready until Mike Tyson hits you, right? I mean, Gausman throws 97, 98, and a power split. You just don't have that type of time to lay off. But you always have to study and read body language of the hitters. And the truth is, they've only one swing and miss out of 9. During the season, they miss around 50%. So something to watch.
I'm sure Pete Walker, the pitching coach, is watching closely to see if there's any tips or tells. Two and one. And there was a splitter. 2-0 Twins on the Royce Lewis first inning home run. Another splitter and a take, 3-1. Now 3-2. That was a splitter, but it was up. Three-two. And he walked him. Well, this postseason, get the best 5G coverage in the game with T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. You know, sometimes the way teams are built, it's not the way they turn out at the end of the year. So many injuries for the Twins. Byron Buxton is not even on the postseason roster. He's been consistently injured throughout his career, and they really take the utmost care with him. Don't put him in the outfield that much, but he has not been able to get right. Carlos Correa, not the season that he wanted. Joey Gallo is not on the postseason roster. Injury and also the decision not to put him on the roster. But young kids have stepped up for this Twins team, Alex, and carried them to the Central Division title. 0-1 on Taylor. A base hit to left field. Wallner will stop at second. And a single for Taylor.
And Rocco Baldelli was telling us before the game today in the manager's office that the young players came up and they energized the veterans. And they played better and the veterans stepped up. Good hitting here by Michael Taylor following a fantastic catch the prior inning.
So here's Julian, first and second. One man out against Gausman in the bottom of the second. There's a strike. Julian walked and was on base when Lewis hit the home run. One and one on the second baseman. This will be the 40th pitch already with one out in the second for Gausman. Twins showing great plate discipline against Gausman.
They broke a major league record this year, Michael, for strikeouts. Today, only one.
Two and two. First and second, one man out, 2-2 count on Julian. 3-2, and we throw it down to Alden Gonzalez.
Hey, Michael, a lot of people might not know about Eddie Julien, but I had a Twins coach tell me that he's basically the JV version of Juan Soto because of his combination of patience and power. He works on his strike zone discernment every day, taking BP from a coach from 45 feet who throws a breaking balls, fastballs, and he trains himself to lay off the non-strikes. He thinks that's helped him a lot this year.
Well, he's worked the count full. First and second, one man out. And the payoff. Strike three, punched him out. Whispers across the inside corner, 2 away. Big strikeout for Gausman.
And this time it was a 3-2 split, Michael, that edged the inside corner.
Or did it?
Or did it? Good pitch, good take. Tough call by Andy Fletcher.
So here's Polanco. He popped a Bichette in shallow left in the first inning. Big cut, fouled it back. Wallner at second, Taylor's at first. High fly ball, right field. Springer is there in front of the track. He'll make the play. And Gausman works into and out of trouble. No runs ahead and 2 men left. We go to the third. It's 2-0 Minnesota. Having some trouble with the microphone of Alden Gonzalez and Rocco Baldelli as we go to the third inning. And Alden, since we didn't hear it and you did, why don't you tell us what Rocco said?
Yeah, Michael, Rocco talked a lot about just sort of what you guys have been touching on against Kevin Gausman. A lot of the patience. He said that the splitter changeup is a really difficult pitch mix for offensive players, but he loves the patience so far. And look, Pablo Lopez has talked about pitching in a playoff environment like this since he was a kid. Rocco says that he's handling this like a veteran so far.
Good stuff. He certainly has. And quickly 0-2 on the number 9 hitter, Dalton Varsho. Two 2-0 Minnesota. Swing and a miss. You know, Rocco was talking to us about when he made the phone call when Lopez was traded to the Twins. He said, I had a 10-minute conversation. I've never been more impressed with somebody. This is a guy who at 16 years old graduated from high school and was, you know, ticketed to become a doctor. You know, both of his parents were doctors as well. This is a really bright kid on the mound.
Yeah, one sister's a lawyer, the brother's an engineer. He speaks 4 languages. I mean, Michael, he sounds more like a U.S. president candidate than a pitcher. But everything you hear about him, the aura, the energy, this is what you call a win-win trade for both the Marlins and the Twins.
Yeah, he had a great line, you know, so he was accepted into medical school, and despite his desire to become a doctor, he chose to play baseball. And he said the body, as you grow older, gets weaker, the mind gets stronger. Baseball's a one-time opportunity. That was my thought process. I could always go back to school. Popped up on the right side, Kirilloff in foul territory. We'll put it away to retire Springer.
He also graduated #1 in his class. I think I was about 600, but sounds more like you, Michael, graduated #1 in your class.
Yeah, that didn't happen, Alex. Your information is wrong. It's flattering, but it's just dead wrong. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Brandon Belt. Foul back, 0-1. Now, Belt missed 19 out of 20 games toward the end of the season with lumbar spine muscle spasms. But he came back a week ago today and went 6 for 20 with 3 home runs in 6 games. So he feels he's ready.
And playing in the grass versus the turf in Canada, right, in Toronto, is something that's going to serve him well in a lot of these veteran players from both teams.
Yeah, Belt's 35 years old, 13th big league season. Two and two. Belt had a .369 on base percentage this season. That's 12th in the American League. And that was after he hit .169 in April. Crowd on its feet. And the pitch. And the 3-2. Strike 3. Lopez gets Belt looking. A 1-2-3 inning for the Blue Jays as they go down in order, and John Schneider has some words for the home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher. So we played 2.5 here in Minneapolis. And that one just on the bottom part of the zone. It's 2-0 Twins.
All right, bottom of the third here from Target Field. I'm here with Blue Jays manager John Schneider. And John, you talked about it's going to be all hands on deck in this series. The Twins have driven up Kevin Gausman's pitch count. How much longer do you think you could ride him?
I mean, as long as he's making pitches, you know, he's one of the best in the game. So it comes down to just executing, I think. There's no one better than big situations than Kevin Gausman, so hopefully he can get on a little bit of a roll.
And what do you think about the approach so far against Pablo Lopez?
Yeah, I mean, he's good. I think the approach is okay. Only 1 strikeout, well, 2 right there with Brandon. I think the approach has been all right so far. Got to just get some guys on base and do some damage.
John, thank you so much. Michael, back to you.
Thank you, Alden. Thank you, John. As we go to the bottom of the third, 2 straight pitches out of the zone to Royce Lewis. Obviously, Lopez pitching very well with 3 shutout innings. The 2-0 to Lewis. 3-0. Lewis electrified the crowd with a 2-run home run in the first inning off of Gausman. Now let's see if they green light him on 3-0. He takes the strike, 3-1. Second baseman Biggio shades a bit up the middle. Vlad Guerrero Jr. pulled off the line at first. High fly ball, right field and deep. Springer back, turning, looking, see ya! He's done it again! Back-to-back home runs for Lewis, and it's 3-0 Twins.
The #1 pick for a reason. This time a fastball stays inside of it and hits it a long ways to right center field. A guy that was not going to play yesterday, and he told us today, I had a great night of sleep. I woke up and I came ready to play. What a great decision for the Twins.
First overall pick in the 2017 draft out of high school. And playoff pressure is not slowing him down. 2-1. This is his first game in 2 weeks.
2 at-bats, 2 home runs, 3 ribbies.
That must have been one heck of a sleep.
Mike, I need one of those.
Oh, so do I.
And a great kid. I mean, he's just got that it factor. He's at the smile. He makes eye contact. He's a guy that could have played for Tom Kelly, Ron Gardenhire. He's just a delight. and another bright superstar in the game of baseball.
Jimmy Garcia starting to throw for Toronto. Ground ball second base. Biggio will get Kepler.
So, Michael, this is what I'm talking about, body language. 1-0 split, 2-0 split. Watch this. Not even a budge. That's a hell of a split. Not a budge. Here comes the gun. 2-0. I'm going to hit it out front. Not even a budge. He's laying off. And then here's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and I'm going to beat the head. Bam! It is way too obvious. There's something that's given away. Something in tipping, but those are not supposed to be the takes, and then you're not supposed to get the head out like that.
Kirilloff skies one to left field. Varsho is there. 2 down.
When a guy's throwing 97 and he leads the world in strikeouts, as a 2-0 count, you're taught. Lou Piniella said, son, get the head out. Get the head out. He was putting his arms, he was taken halfway through the pitch before he got home. And then the 3-1, he hits a home run.
Here's Correa. Out of the way. So Lewis, the second multi-home run game in Twins playoff history. The only other one by Gary Gaetti in Game 1 of the 1987 ALCS against the Tigers. They keep tagging it, tagging it, tagging it.
Now, Michael, explain to me 1-1 how you take this. Another great split. I'm not even going to swing at that. Nah, I'll let that one go.
And they don't even flinch. It's not like they're holding up.
And watch what happens when he throws a fastball. Watch him get the head out right here. A little slider there.
Fair ball. Chapman across the diamond. And that'll do it. But it's been the Royce Lewis show. A 2-run home run in the first. That was to left. Here in the third, he goes the other way. And when it lands, it's 3-0 Twins and a big happy smile from Royce Lewis. Well, what a lineup we have for you Saturday and next Monday and Tuesday. The 119th Red River Rivalry game between number 12 Oklahoma and number 3 Texas. That's on ABC at noon Eastern. Monday Night Football matchup. Packers-Raiders in Vegas. NHL opening night. That's a triple header on ESPN, capped off by Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks taking on Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. And then the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights hosting the Seattle Kraken. Strong 3 days. 2-0 on Vlad Guerrero Jr. As we start the fourth, it's 3-0 Twins, or it's really 3-0 Royce Lewis. 2-run home run and a solo home run. Fly ball, deep right center. Taylor on the run, and also Kepler, and Kepler makes the catch. Guerrero drove it to the wall, but Kepler ran it down.
Good swing for Vlad. That's a good sign. Great play here by Kepler. Gold glovers all over the place and tremendous defense on both sides. And Lopez loves it.
So here's Bichette. 1-0. On Bichette. Fly ball right in the first inning. Defense fairly straight away. Second baseman Julian a step or two up the middle. Kirilloff off the bag at first. Popped up. First base side out of play. Yeah, you look around this ballpark. It's a gorgeous ballpark. A couple of fans just got a souvenir, but they did a great job building this place here in downtown Minneapolis. Punched out right center field, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit in front of Kepler. Let's take a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud, and we'll take a look at Bo Bichette's hit chart. And here's the replay of the base hit.
Little slider, throw it soft, hit it softer.
His hits go from line to line, 77 opposite field hits, most in the majors. Pitch inside to Biggio. So the count 1-1. Tim Mayza is warming up for the Blue Jays, one of their lefties out in the pen. He's had a great season. One. Broken bat, soft ground ball, fielded there by Correa. He gets the out at first as Bichette moves to second. So 2 down, runner in scoring position for Toronto, and here's Alejandro Kirk. Foul ball, 0-1.
Michael, the postseason is a little bit like opening day, right? You want to get the first out of the way, the first hit, the first routine play, the first strikeout. This will be a big run for Toronto, make it 3-1, and a huge out for Lopez. Get it 3-0, get the Twins back in the dugout and keep at it.
Oh, 2. Crowd looking for a strikeout. They get a foul ball instead. Bichette's at second, 2 men out. We're in the fourth. It's 3-0 Minnesota. And that hits Kirk. So he will take first, and that brings up Kiermaier as the tying run. And obvious pain.
Ouch.
Yeah, no pad there, just that red sleeve. The backup catcher was Tyler Heineman.
Anytime, Michael, you get hit, elbow, anywhere in the wrist, hands, the first concern and thought is, did I break something? And this is a little sinker that got away. Obviously did not mean to hit him.
So he's going to stay in the game to the relief of the Blue Jays. Let's go down to Alden Gonzalez.
And guys, keep in mind that Danny Jansen is not available for the Blue Jays. Alejandro Kirk, because of that, has had to take on a major load in September, playing almost every day, and it looks like he's going to try to fight off this hand injury too.
The pitch to Kiermaier. There's a strike. After Jansen went down, Kirk played every game in September except for the last one after they clinched on Saturday. They did not play him on Sunday, so he has been a workhorse for the Blue Jays. They can ill afford to lose him. Chop toward third. Polanco charges, and it goes under his glove. And here comes Bichette. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's out. Oh, a great recovery by Carlos Correa, firing home to get Bichette trying to score.
And a gold glove play by a platinum winner, Carlos Correa. Well played on both ends. Love the aggressiveness by Bichette. Then the bare hand and the rocket arm for the out.
Just a heads-up play by Correa, and then he fires home to Jeffers, who applies the tag.
I was never gone, but I'm back with my hoodie on. Tell the DJ I'm...
Outstanding defensive play, and the top of the fourth ends it. The Blue Jays still with a 0 on their side of the scoreboard. Ryan Jeffers will lead off. Kevin Gausman still in there. Bo Bichette was thrown out trying to score an aggressive play. And there's a strike to the number 7 hitter, the catcher, Ryan Jeffers. One and one.
Michael, we talk about winning players, former Astros in both Springer and Correa. And sometimes it's not a home run, it's not a base hit, it's not a ribby. It's a great defensive play that saves a run. And that's exactly what Carlos Correa did.
You know, it wasn't a bad thought for Bichette trying to score. He probably made the right move, and it took a great defensive play to get him.
We talked about him when he's healthy being one of the top 5 players in the game. He's probably 1 or 2 or 3 shortstops that can make that play. Not only the bare hand, but then the rocket throw.
Let's take a look at that play as Jeffers goes down and strikes.
Look how far he's playing, Michael. He's behind second base. Look how far he travels here. Watch this. And then the arm strength and the accuracy. Great play by Bichette. Better one by Correa. And a nice pickup there.
Alex, he probably ran 80 feet.
Yeah.
Wow. What a heads-up play by Correa. And athletic, too.
In the composure, not to rush. He has strong arm and threw a rocket to Jeffers.
I mean, if you're looking at him running and you're looking at Bichette running, it's a race. And then once the ball becomes involved, the ball is always faster than the person. So 1 and 2 on Wallner. Let's go down to Alden.
Hey, and guys, to your point, Ash, I asked George Springer, obviously Carlos Correa's longtime teammate with the Astros, about what makes him step up like this in the playoffs. What makes his best for these moments? He said, quote, he is a mental giant. He seems to just block everything out. He just seems to make the moment still when it's not. And I don't think there's a better example than what he did on that play.
I like that, mental giant. So Wallner did swing over that splitter. And here's Michael A. Taylor. One and 0 on Taylor. Taylor with a single, also a great play in center field.
Michael, how you break streaks of 18 games losing streak is by the Twins bringing in great players. And that's a play that a primetime player, a World Series champion can do. It's not just the arm strength, it's the composure, it's the ability to do it on the biggest stage. And you got to give the Twins front office a lot of credit, not only for bringing him in, but they go from 30th in strikeouts to #1 this year. And they were 30th for 11 years. They had a guy named Slowy that pitched for them. Wow, you like that?
I did. 2-2 on Taylor.
In my career, Mike, I've never seen a pitching staff be 30th in strikeout from 2011 to 22. And this year they jumped to #1. Great job by the Minnesota Twins front office. And they've done it by trades, one each year. Very creative, thinking outside the box, and thinking about the resources with great ROI.
Strike 3. That's a nice comeback inning for Gausman. He strikes out the Twins in order. They go down 1-2-3. So we'll go to the 5th. It is 3-0 Minnesota. Michael A. Taylor down looking at strike 3.
Splitting.
Well, Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Chapman takes outside, one of the great players of all time, a Hall of Famer. Paul Molitor is in the stands watching this one. Boy, could he hit.
One of the true legends.
Right up the middle and knocked down by the third baseman, Julian. And that allows Chapman to reach.
Hit hard. Well, that could have been caught. Missed time to jump a little bit. Good stars for the Jays here.
So here is Dalton Varsho. Now, getting back to Molitor for a moment, I remember something that Buck Showalter once told me. He said, if I was teaching a kid how to hit, I'd show him Paul Molitor.
Agreed.
No moving parts, just stood there, swung the bat, not a big stride, not a stride at all. Loved the way he hit.
The best two I've ever saw from the right side, Molitor and Edgar Martinez, who I was fortunate to be his teammate. But I remember Paul Molitor, he was 40 years old. He came into the Kingdome, and I was a young lad, and he was one of the fastest guys home to first. He was like 4-0 at 40 years old. Just a tremendous athlete, a great hitter, and was really, really good to me as a young player.
I would have loved to have known you as a young lad. The 0-2.
I'm glad it was before social media. I got myself in enough trouble.
That's true, without social media.
Oh, man.
Varsho's dad named his son after his teammate, Darren Daulton. Thus the name Dalton Varsho.
Another great gamer, Darren Daulton. Molitor, there's some other great, hometown guys from Minnesota. Dave Winfield's another big one. Straight out of high school, drafted 3 sports.
The 0-2. Chop toward first. And Kirilloff steps on the bag as Chapman moves to second.
There are still a few good ideas left in the world. Ours was to make our own tequila. Grab a glass, amigo. Our casa is your casa.
Runner on second, 1 man out. And here is Springer. We're in the 5th, and it's 3-0 Twins. Each team has 3 hits, but the Twins have 2 home runs by Royce Lewis. Fly ball into center field, fairly deep. Going back is Taylor. Makes the play in front of the track. Tagging is Chapman, and the throw comes into Correa. 2 outs.
Michael, something to watch here with 2 outs. Third baseman Polanco is going to play way off with the left-handed belt hitting. Jeffers could be, sometimes shaky with balls in the dirt, and he has the sweeper and the changeup. You bounce one, it can easily be 3-1 here.
So he'll be able to get a big lead because Polanco's way off the bag. Up and away, 1-0. Rip foul, 1-1. Belt 0 for 2. Fouled out to the catcher and struck out looking. Blue Jays looking for their first run. Lopez pitching very well.
Michael, you see Chapman getting way off here, anticipating the ball in the dirt. Nice walking lead.
One and two. This crowd has been a factor. They have been into it since the ceremonial first pitch. Every big moment, they rise as one and get loud. Swing and a miss. Belt down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through. Twins lead 3-0. Eric Swanson takes over for the Blue Jays as we start at the bottom of the fifth. Top of the order, Julian swings at the first pitch. And a ground ball to Biggio. One pitch, one out. And that's going to bring up Jorge Polanco. You see the numbers on Swanson. Now he's had a 1.50 ERA since August 1st. 2 good years in a row for Eric Swanson. 30 years old, 5th big league season. Reliable setup for Jordan Romano.
Features a fastball split and a little slider.
So they relieved Gausman after he struck out the side in the 4th inning and said, okay, that's enough. Gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. And really the trouble that he had was with Royce Lewis. One and one on Polanco. Polanco's 0 for 2. Popped to short and fly ball right. That man is on deck.
Michael Swanson just thrown about 5 pitches, and they've already had more swing and misses on the split.
Swing and a miss on the split. Polanco down on strikes. So that'll bring up Lewis. And let's take a look at today's active plays of the game, brought to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. That was in the first. Goes the other way in the second.
Both on fastballs, one to left, one to right. Maybe you split it right down the middle this time.
2 home runs and 2 at-bats. He's the 10th player in big league history with 2 home runs in his first career playoff game. There has never been a player in his first playoff game to have 3 home runs.
And Michael, if you just common thinking here, he's got 2 home runs and 2 fastballs, mid-90s. I don't assume any fastballs will be in the strike zone. Nothing but splits.
3-0.
3 in a row. And yes, he does have the green light. Neon green.
And they threw him a slider on 3-0. Tough league.
This will not be a fastball.
And he walked him. Very careful with Royce Lewis. And now let's get back to the studio. Kevin Connors. Kev.
All right, Michael. Jordan Montgomery, 7 scoreless innings in the start. Aroldis Chapman, Jose Leclerc fired 2 shutout innings in relief. Texas took advantage of 4 Rays errors. Corey Seager, a pair of hits, including an RBI single. The Rangers take game 1, 4-0. Evaldi, Eflin, the starters in game 2, 3 Eastern. ABC tomorrow, Michael.
Thanks, Kev. What a pickup by the Rangers, Jordan Montgomery. And he starts the first game of the playoffs. The pitch is great. And the Rangers lead 1-0 in the best of 3. Well, John Schneider is going to go to the bullpen. Swanson faces 3. Kepler's coming up.
Don't want to miss out? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB schedule.
Well, Siri, I'll help you out. Let's go to Milwaukee, where Christian Yelich, having a renaissance season, his best since 2019, will lead off against the Diamondbacks tonight. All the action starting at 7 on ESPN2. Another wild card series a day, 3 days of these very, very tension-filled series. Tim Mayza on the mound, and he deals to Kepler, and that ball is past Guerrero and into right field. Looked like he had a beat on it, but it got past him. A base hit for Kepler on the first pitch from Mayza.
Little sinker in with the hole open. Pulls it right in the hole.
Mays has had a terrific season, 1.52 in 69 games. And the 1.52, that's 4th among American League pitchers with 50 or more innings. His teammate Jordan Romano calls him the best lefty in the league. Throws strikes and tough on left-handed batters. He's a part of baseball history, though. He did serve up Aaron Judge's 61st home run last year. So we have a pinch hitter. It's Donovan Solano pinch hitting for Alex Kirilloff.
And we'll face another righty on deck in Carlos Correa.
First and second. That's going to be interesting, Alex, to see if Royce Lewis with the bum hammy is able to score on a regular single, or would they hold him up at third?
When in doubt, they're going to hold him up. Because as Lewis told us before the game, they're playing the long game here.
Well, no need to worry, as that one is skied out to Springer. And he puts it away for the final out. No runs a hit, 2 men left, 5 in the books. It's 3-0 Minnesota.
And Michael Lopez has been outstanding, a masterclass today. You'll see here in the video, attacking all 4 quadrants. First with the fastball in, little 2-seamer. Then the 4-seamer away, glove side. Then the fastball up, gas. And then down low for the changeup. Master class.
He's been dealing. Loving the spotlight as he deals inside to Guerrero. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in Toronto's order, as Lopez has strung up 5 zeros against Toronto. There's a strike.
Guerrero not happy with that ball in off the plate. Andy Fletcher has been generous, especially on that side.
High fly ball center field. Taylor. 1 out. Let's go back downstairs to Alden Gonzalez.
Hey, Michael, and Twins president of baseball operations Derek Falvey was talking yesterday about just how difficult it was for him to part ways with Luis Arraez in his pursuit of the top of the rotation starter like Pablo Lopez. He had watched Arraez evolve as a hitter, battle injuries, and become a beloved member of this organization. He said, quote, "It's a risk, but when you're making a trade like that, sometimes you avoid trades like that because you're afraid of taking on that risk, but we were hunting for what Pablo would be, which was a true top-of-the-rotation starter. That's what he's become, and Falvey believes that Arraez and Pablo are going to be linked together for a long time, which is pretty cool.
Well, both teams have to like the trade. Alden, you look at what Arraez did with the Marlins. All he did was lead Major League Baseball with a .354 average for about 3 months, flirting with 400. And here's Lopez dealing a shutout so far in Game 1 of the playoffs. Here's Biggio. Now there's the pitch that's made a difference. Lopez has always been good, but it's taken him to the next level. And Alex, the Blue Jays are 1 for 10 with an infield single against that pitch. The 0-1. It's a really nice weapon for a righty pitcher against a lefty batter as well.
He's got incredible talent, Michael, but it tells you more about his makeup than his talent, that he's able to add another pitch and make it a prime time pitch, and that's made him from good to great.
Well, he said, I always played the north-south game with the heater and the changeup. I really didn't have anything to expose low and away to a righty or down and in to a lefty. He said, I'm extremely grateful for all the resources the Twins made available when it came to pitch developing.
And the Twins historically have been one of the best organizations in baseball, developing, drafting. If you think back about the Justin Morneaus and Joe Mauers and Torrey Hunters, the list goes on and on. The one adjustment they've made to go from contact pitching to strikeout pitching, that starts at the very top and is a philosophy paradigm shift, and the Twins have done it as well as anyone.
Biggio pops it up. Correa. 2 down. MLB celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month by recognizing the contributions made to our game by the Latino baseball community, past and present. Follow at Los Mayores and at MLB, and visit losmayores.com for full coverage.
That's pretty good, Michael. Little Espanol for you.
Only 8 years of Spanish.
Was that at Fordham?
4 in high school and 4.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I can pretty much say, me amo mi. But I tried. Another factor for Lopez is he lost a lot of weight. Lost 25 pounds from last year. He said he just didn't feel the same after the All-Star break last season. And he watched Sandy Alcantara and said, why is he getting stronger and I'm not? And he just, he helped his diet. He cooks his own meals. And he says he doesn't eat after 6:30.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a pizza delivered last night at 10.
Oh. You know, Sonny Gray was very vocal in spring training, Michael, where they were talking about we've been a staff that goes 4 innings, 5 innings and dive. It's imperative that we go deeper into the ball games, and he set the tone as a veteran. He's walked the walk, and everybody else has followed nicely.
Three and 1 on Kirk. So runner at first, 2 men out. Kirk is 0 for 1 and was hit by a pitch and a 3-1 count. This will be the 91st pitch. And he walked him. Well, let's see what Rocco Baldelli does. He's got double-barreled action in the bullpen. Pete Mackey, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk with Lopez. So Thielbar and Varland. Thielbar, the left-hander.
No fees or minimums and no overdraft fees are another reason banking with Capital One is an even easier decision than this.
We need a clutch hit. Darren. Jeter. Hang in there, rookie.
Yep, even easier than that. What's in your one?
Well, Baldelli has a decision to make soon. Both of those pitchers out there are ready, but they will allow Lopez to deal with Kiermaier. Kiermaier steps up as the tying run here in the 6th inning. 1st and 2nd, 2 men out. And the pitch is high, 1-0.
Biggest at bat of the game, biggest moment in the game right here. One swing can tie it.
Line drive, it's a base hit to left field. Bichette rounds 3rd, he will score. Kirk stops at 2nd. It's an opposite field RBI single for Kiermaier. And the Blue Jays are on the board. It's 3-1 Twins. And that single is going to knock Lopez out of the game. Smart hitting for Kiermaier, just took it the other way, served it over Polanco for the first run for the Blue Jays. So they will go to the bullpen, and Lopez is going to get himself a rousing ovation. The best of 3 wild card round rolls on tomorrow with all 4 game 2s. The Rangers and the Rays get it started at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. Blue Jays Twins is at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. Diamondbacks Brewers at 7 on ESPN2. And Marlins Phillies cap the night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. Every game is also available on ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Chad Green comes on and deals a strike to Carlos Correa. Green returning from Tommy John surgery. Came back on September 1st. Struggled over his first few outings, but looking more like his old self over the last 2 weeks. 6 games, 1.29, 10 strikeouts in 7 innings.
Two-pitch pitcher, fastball and slider.
Still 0-2. And now Lopez goes to studying the 5 2/3. Well, the entire state of Minnesota had to hold their breath on that Chapman drive. What a great catch by Michael Taylor.
Michael, I still remember as a kid, I'm sure you did too, watching Kirby Puckett go up against the glass, jump like Michael Jordan. I couldn't believe how high he jumped for that great, incredible catch. And then, of course, the walk-off home run off the changeup of Lieber.
Ground ball to 2nd. And Biggio makes the play. 1 down. Bert Blyleven, Kent Hrbek, and there's Kirby Puckett.
I'll never forget, Michael Kirby came in probably mid-May.
Ground ball foul.
Was hitting early every day, and he was hitting about 180. And it came out early with Ken Griffey, Jay Buhner. I said, Puck, how you doing? Him and Griffey were really tight. And he said, I'm not doing so well right now, but when I come back here in September, I'll be hitting over 330. Came back in September, he's hitting 345.
Wow.
That's Kirby Puckett.
Fly ball, shallow right, coming on Springer, still coming. And he puts it away for the 2nd out. statue of him after that big home run in the World Series. What a player, beloved here in the Twin Cities.
And what a person. And I would come in every year. He had a billiards tournament to raise money. Always did so much for philanthropy charity here.
Nice play there by Guerrero. And he will beat Wallner to the bag. So Green comes on and retires. The Twins in order. We're going to the 7th in this one. 3-1 Minnesota.
Zone. Tough matchup.
Yep, throws a
All
lot
the
of
sausages.
cutters. American Family Field to site, 7 Eastern, Diamondback.
Well, the sausages are getting ready. Sausage race a big part of any Milwaukee Brewers game. And game 1 of that wild card series, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers coming up next on ESPN2. New pitcher is Caleb Thielbar. As we go to the 7th, so Rocco Baldelli has to get 10 outs out of his bullpen. One very loud one he got from Louis Verlin. Now Thielbar will start the 7th. Whit Merrifield pinch hitting for Varsho, and there's a strike.
Features a fastball, curveball, and a slider. About 50% with the fastball.
One and one. Castro takes over in left field. So Wallner's out, and Varsho, an outstanding left fielder, he's out because left-handers hit 128 against Thielbar. That's why Merrifield's pinch hitting. Popped up. One down. Back to the top of the order, and George Springer, who was 0 for 3, reached on an E5, then fouled out first and a fly ball to center. So we mentioned lefties at 128 against the lefty Thielbar, righties 258. There's a strike.
Michael, you mentioned that Rocco Baldelli's depending on 10 outs from the bullpen, but you have to start managing a little bit like chess, not checkers. You have Vlad in the hole, and you have the righty ready for him.
Ground ball is short. Correa, the long throw, got him. Well, they're trying to piece these outs together to end this anvil of a losing streak. 18 straight games in the postseason. Going back to 2004, it's the longest streak in North American sports history. Got the Blackhawks at 16 straight games, tied with 14 the Pistons and the Kings. Here's Belt. Lefty as he fouls it back.
Michael, every lineup has a player you circle and you say, this guy will not beat me. And that guy right now is Vladimir Guerrero, who's on deck. And this is a big out here for the Twins. You want Guerrero to lead off the 8th inning, not to hit with an opportunity to tie the game. Big out right here for the Twins.
One and two. Thielbar, a veteran, 7 big league season, 36 years old. Big spot right here. Popped up, shallow left. Going back, Correa making the call and the catch for the final out. So the Blue Jays go down in order. It's time for the 7th inning stretch in Minneapolis. Twins lead this one 3-1. All right, let's take a look at today's game track, brought to you by Volvo. A lot of great plays by the Twins, big hits as well. And the Twins are leading this one 3-1. And Taylor swings and misses against Green, 0-1, bottom of the 7th. One and 1. 3-4-1, leading 1-5-0. Royce Lewis 2 for 2, 2 home runs, 3 ribbies. Pablo Lopez 5 2/3, an earned run, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts in his second career postseason start. For Royce Lewis, he said, "Hold my beer." It's his first postseason game and 2 home runs. One, 2. 2-2. So the Blue Jays obviously want to keep the Twins right here, take their chances. In the 8th and the 9th, it's 3-1 Minnesota. Swing and a miss, Taylor down on strikes. And, you know, from the theater of the obvious, there's such an urgency in these games. Now, it's not like the one-game wild card they used to have, but you got to win your games. You can't fall behind down one game because, boom, your season's over the next day.
Well, 5 games is really short, but this is like a full sprint. And usually the winner of game 1 at home, you can defend at home field. And a nice job there by Green.
All right, so Schneider goes to the bullpen, make a pitching change. As top of the Twins order coming up. Twins 3, Toronto 1. Stay right here on ESPN. Well, the Blue Jays go to Yenesis Cabrera, 27 years old, 5th big league season. DFA'd by the Cardinals on July 17th, then traded to the Blue Jays. He had a 5.06 ERA in St. Louis this year, but with Toronto, it's 2.66. They cut his walk rate significantly from 12% in his career to 6% with the Jays, and he's got good stuff.
He's got a fastball, top of the zone. He cuts it, he sinks it, curveball, and a little changeup.
Kyle Farmer will pinch hit for Edward Julian. And Cabrera deals a strike.
Cabrera from La República Dominicana. Played for Team Dominican in the WBS.
Fouled away. Just got a piece to stay alive. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the cutter. 2 down.
Cabrera with a little flair here. Nice cutter. Then the hop and the jump. Merengue. Good stuff by Cabrera.
Here's Polanco, 0 for 3. And a strike, 0-1. Popped to short, fly ball right, and a strikeout. This guy down the right field line, but that'll be in the seats out of play.
Mentioned Cabrera played in the WBC representing Dominican. Michael, I think a lot of this competition early on, it was such a vibrant tournament. I think these guys learn a lot from it, and his experience they can use right here in October.
The 0-2. 1-2.
Lewis is on deck. I'm sure that if he comes up to bat, the Blue Jays will counter with a right-handed pitcher. But with the new rules, you have to face 3. And that's a little bit of an issue for the Blue Jays. They would be very careful, Cabrera facing Lewis. Big out right here for the Jays.
And if he gets on, it's hard to then walk Lewis, pitch around him.
Exactly.
2-2. Still 2-2.
Miles an hour on that fastball, foul ball. If you're a hitter, you got to be thinking slider or cutter down.
Well, something to watch for. He took the pitch clock down to 1 second. He takes a little walk. He rubs up the baseball. It really takes his time.
It's going to be close here.
2-1.
That's what you call clock management.
I guess the longer you can hold on to it, Alex, without committing a violation, it makes the hitter more anxious.
I guess, but my mom said being on time is 50 minutes early, so I don't think Cabrera applies by that rule.
The payoff. Did he go? Did he go? Yes, he did. As Polanco down on strikes. And 2 pitchers retire the Twins in order. 3 strikeouts. We'll go to the 8th.
Kevin Connors in studio. We are minutes away from Diamondbacks Brewers over on ESPN2. They're going through pregame introductions in Milwaukee right now. Next here on ESPN, it's Marlins Phillies. Jazz Chisholm off an injury-filled season hitting cleanup. Luzardo and Wheeler the pitching matchup, Michael, after we go final in Minnesota.
Thank you, Kevin. Griffin Jacks takes over. Here in the 8th, he will deal to Vlad Guerrero, who lines one into right center field. It's a base hit, and that's going to get past Kepler and go to the wall. And Guerrero hustling into second with a leadoff double here in the 8th.
And Michael, big axe for Jacks here, 3-4-5. Vlad with a double here. But this is here the biggest inning with the best 3 hitters coming up for the Jays.
And you know what? That brings the old question, well, who's your best reliever? Save him for the 9th inning? Is it different stomach to pitch the 9th inning? Or do you bring your best reliever and face their best hitters?
Well, that's the modern day debate, Michael. And Rocco Baldelli's telling you that the 9th is his guy in Durant.
And there was a strike to Bichette. Bichette 2 for 3. You see the numbers on Jacks. 28 years old, 3rd big league season. Big cut. Trying to tie it right there. There's Duran. Guerrero's at second, nobody out here in the 8th. 3-1 Minnesota. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking ball.
And a wipeout. David Cone type sweeper or slider.
So here's Kevin Biggio. Drops the breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1.
And Michael, if you're the Jays, you have to tell yourself you have to get at least 1. That was a very unproductive at bat there by Bichette, because A, you struck out, but B, you don't get Guerrero over to 3rd. Double negative.
0-2 on Biggio. Strike 3, got him looking. Backdoor sweeper. 2 away.
Perfect pitch there, unhittable backdoor sweeper, and catches the corner. Good call by home plate umpire Andy Fletcher.
Farmer's taken over third. Polanco has moved to second. Kirk grounds one to first. Solano is there. He'll take it himself. And they pitch around the leadoff double. And Guerrero is stranded at second. This one moves to the bottom of the 8th. It's a nail-biter in Minnesota. 3-1 Twins. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Twins lead 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. And the Blue Jays 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. They've left a couple of runners in scoring position. That's why they have just 1 run. And Royce Lewis is leading off. He had the 2 home runs. He's the offense for the Twins so far. The Homer Hankies are out here at Target Field. New pitcher is Jordan Hicks, hard-throwing right-hander against Lewis. .99 miles an hour low, 1-0. One and one. Blue Jays got Hicks from the Cardinals July 30th. Throws really hard. His sinker often hits triple digits. 3.29 ERA. He's 26 years old, and this is his 5th big league season. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Bichette. That pulls Guerrero off the bag. He tags Lewis going by, 1 away. So that's going to bring up Max Kepler. Hey, wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more, and root your favorite team on at MLBshop.com. And the pitch to Kepler is a strike. Hicks struggled in St. Louis with a 4.46 ERA when he pitched there until the end of July, but 2.63 with the Blue Jays. Got electric stuff. Pounding the strike zone more with Toronto and getting a lot of grounders, not just strikeouts. Gets a strikeout there. Kepler down swinging. Hey, that 8th inning is going to loom large, Alex. A leadoff double by Guerrero, and then.
I mean, this is a little bit of a microcosm of the Blue Jays' struggling offense. Double, wipeout, strikeout, strikeout backdoor, and then a ground ball to first. And that may be the ball game. When you look back, you have to at least get 1 in that inning.
Solano takes outside, 1-0.
I mean, Michael, to think the Blue Jays are out hitting the Minnesota Twins and yet are down, but it's been the #1 picks for the Minnesota Twins. Lewis and Correa. Lewis drives in 3 runs with 2 homers, and then Correa with the composure, the bare hand, and the throw home to save a run.
3-0. And he walked him. So Solano walks on 4 pitches, and that'll bring up Correa. Correa 0 for 3. 1-0.
Good take there on the slider by Correa, and a good matchup for Carlos. Good fastball hitter, hunts fastball. He's thinking, beat him to the spot on the heater.
There's a strike. Hicks is the 6th pitcher used by Toronto. Gausman started, went 4, gave up the 2 home runs to Lewis, then Swanson, Meza, Green, Cabrera, now Hicks.
Hey!
2-1. Solano leads off first. That was a ground ball up the middle. It's a base hit. Solano around second. He's going to go to third. Correa will stop at first with a single. And the Twins have runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Like I said, Michael, good matchup for Carlos. Good fastball hitter. Gets a fastball and smokes it right back up the middle. And the Twins here are set up with men in the corners.
Well, customize your feed, get personalized stats and highlights, and enjoy free live streams with the MLB app. Your home for postseason baseball. Download the MLB app today. Pitching coach Pete Walker settling down Hicks. They want to keep it right here because they know they have a really daunting task against Duran in the 9th inning. Jeffers is 0 for 3. Biggio, the second baseman, almost behind the bag. Guerrero holding on Correa at first. The whole right side of the infield is open. Foul back. The righty deals. Fouled away.
So 2 outs, 0-2. Michael, if you're a middle infielder, if you're a catcher, you have to be ready and anticipate them trying to steal a run. So if Correa runs, I do not anticipate them throwing through.
1-2. Solano at third. Correa dealing with the plantar fasciitis. He is at first. Held there by Guerrero. Twins lead 3-1. miles an hour. 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. Castro is on deck. Well, Correa is going to go. 3-2, 2 outs. Solano stays put on third. And the payoff. Way outside, he walked him. So the bases are loaded with Twins. So Willie Castro will come up. And a strike, 102 miles an hour. What's that sound like, Alex?
I don't know. I'm just glad I'm up here next to you.
Swing and a miss. It's the old line when a batter's up there, somebody throwing that hard, he turns to the umpire and goes, that sounded high. So 0-2 on Castro, bases loaded with Twins. Just underneath his hands, 1-2, also 1-2. What an arm. And the pitch. 2-2, there's no place to put Castro.
Castro, who grew up around the game, his father coached in the minor leagues for both the Tigers and the Mets. It was a good approach at the plate.
Strike 3, Castro down looking. Buckle up, 9th inning coming up here in Minnesota. Johan Duran, the Twins closer, makes his way in. Trying to get the final 3 outs here in the 9th inning. Twins lead game 1 of this wild card series by a score of 3-1. And Duran 101, 102 miles an hour. You see his numbers, 2.45 ERA. And he also throws a splitter sinker. He calls it the splinker. And that averages over 98 miles an hour. Alex, 25 inches of vertical drop, 12 inches of horizontal break.
That's too much math for me, but it sounds really good and really tough. Here's what I know. He's thrown the 4 fastest pitches this year, 104, 105. Wow.
Kiermaier will dig in. 2 for 2 with a walk. Crowd on its feet here at Target Field. And he drops in a curveball. Sometimes life's not fair.
Indeed.
And the 0-1. Another curve. And Kiermaier just protects and fouls it away, 0-2. Listen to this crowd. One away, 3 curveballs. Kiermaier down on strikes.
You're looking for 105 and you get a breaking ball. A devastating one. Disappearing curveball.
Here's Matt Chapman. Curveball specialist. Twins have not won a postseason game since Game 1 in 2004 against the Yankees. Since then, 18 straight losses. And that is the longest streak of postseason losses in North American sports history. Trying to end it right here. Fouled away, 1-2.
Michael, that was 101. 5 curveballs in a row, then a fastball. That 101 probably looked like 111.
And the 1-2. He goes around. 2 away. 1 out to go.
Michael, that was a curveball and a very delayed call by Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire. Almost like he wasn't sure. He thought about it. Oh, why not? Strike 3.
Here's Merrifield. Duran deals upstairs. That's 103.
And Michael, the guy on deck, George Springer, that's a guy you do not want him to hit if you're the Minnesota Twins.
There's a strike at 102, 1-1 on Merrifield. Merrifield's 0 for 1. He pinch hit for Varsho in the 7th and popped to first. The righty rocks and deals. And the Twins are a strike away. And the 1-2 upstairs. This crowd has been alive since the first pitch, trying to will its team to victory. Been a long wait. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. The veteran Merrifield has worked the count full. As Alex said, that man is on deck. George Springer.
19 career postseason home runs on deck. Big pitch.
And he walked him. So now you have to deal with Springer. And the ghosts start to enter your head. This is the last win that the Twins have had in the postseason. Game 1, 2004 against the Yankees. Alex, you were there.
Well, Minnesota's always been a good team, a tough team, always well coached and managed. And I think we were in trouble right here, Michael. 0-1, Nathan closed.
But then the streak started in game 2. You guys won. You had that big hit in that game. And a quick trip to the mound by Pete Mackey. So the Twins have done a good job getting to the postseason. They just haven't been able to win games, and they're still an out away here in the 9th. Well, the best of 3 wild card round rolls off tomorrow with all 4 game 2s. Rangers and the Rays get it started at 3 on ABC. Blue Jays Twins at 4:30 on ESPN. Diamondbacks Brewers at 7 on ESPN2, and Marlins Phillies cap the night at 8 on ESPN. So here is Springer. Merrifield's at first. He'll take off for second. No one holding him. There he goes. And there's a ground ball. Diving stop by Solano. And he flips to Duran. They win. 18 is enough. The Twins get a postseason win, and they lead the wild card series 1-0. Pretty emotional win for the Minnesota Twins with all the history, the 18 straight losses, and boy, they played a pretty good game.
And Michael, to think a 5'8" first baseman with the dive, he needed every inch to make that play, and then the toss, and a big, huge win for the Twins.
And a child leads them with Royce Lewis with the 2 home runs that provided all the offense that they needed. They got a strong start of 5 2/3 from Pablo Lopez. And they win this one 3-1, a nail-biter to the end. If you're going to lose a game like the Blue Jays did, it's going to be a nail-biter. And if you're going to break a streak, it's going to be that sort of game with the Twins coming out on top. A lot of emotion in this ballpark for sure. And they are up 1-0, and one more win, they will move on in the playoffs. Let's go down to Alvin Gonzalez. He has Royce Lewis.
Hey, Royce, I know you guys have much bigger goals, but 18 consecutive playoff losses was a big deal in this city. What do you think it means to this city? What does it mean to this team that we no longer have to talk about this again?
Absolutely. It means a lot, and it means a lot that the fans encouraged us, and they had that energy for us. They brought it, and we brought it for them.
You went 2 weeks trying to treat a hamstring strain. You played today. You weren't sure after yesterday's workout if you were going to be able to play in this game. You popped 2 home runs. How did you do it?
You know what? It was the fans. It was all these guys, man. I truly thank you. Thank you so much. And I think we're just going to feed off that energy and keep going tomorrow.
We saw Pablo Lopez pitch a great game. We saw some great defensive plays at first base and center field by Michael Taylor. Griffin Jax did a great job getting out of the 8th. What was the biggest difference for you think in terms of holding this lead today?
Our pitching staff's been doing this all year, so it was truly special, and we put some runs up there for them, and they showed us how we can win the game.
You have a chance to go to the Division Series tomorrow. What are you thinking?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, I'm speechless right now. This crowd is special. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
What a scene here at Target Field. We mentioned this crowd has been electric since the first pitch, and they did help carry them over the finish line in Game 1 with a 3-1 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. That young man, in his first postseason game, hits 2 home runs to propel the offense to a 3-1 lead. And that's the final score. The Twins 3, Toronto 1. Coming up next, baseball tonight. Game 2 tomorrow at 4:30. Tonight at 8 Eastern, it's the NL Wildcard Game 1, Marlins Phillies. For Alden Gonzalez and Alex Rodriguez, I'm Michael Kay saying goodbye from Minnesota. Stay tuned for baseball tonight after these messages. See you, everybody.